I think that one of the strengths of the tours were the guides. I thought they were fun, they were students, so they realistically could tell you about the dorms themselves, and they were very entertaining.
I really liked how personable the guides were, and they were really interested in helping us have a really enjoyable time.
And I also liked that while we were walking between the dorms, we got to see part of the campus as well and meet someone that was at A&M. And Aggies are always friendly, so I liked that.
I really liked at the Commons tour, the tour guides were really nice and friendly and seemed to know what they were talking about.
It was good that they showed us all the options and we got to go through all the dorms, and they let us take our time looking at everything, so we really had enough time to go by and see what we liked about it.
The person who did the tour, she was really friendly, and towards the end shared some of her own personal stories, so that made it relatable, and I think made me see that she had lived there and enjoyed it. And I also got to see a variety of rooms, so that gave me a good picture of the different places that are available to live.
They took you to a dorm of every single kind. We saw the commons, the modulars, and where the core lives, so we got to see a variety of different places, so we can make an educated decision on where we're going to be living.
The amenities and like everything that they told us about the dorms, they really seemed to know a lot of information, so I thought that was really useful.
Enjoy our time, and she let us take our time and wasn't rushing us at all, so that was really nice. The one part I didn't really enjoy about the tour is the waiting process before we actually went. Lots of us sat around and didn't really know what to do with our time, and there wasn't anything to engage with or to interact with anyone. So that was just a time that was a little bit weird.
The main thing I didn't like was she went over the rooms. She gave a lot of detail on the rooms, but she didn't really tell us like what was included with the rooms, like where the cafeteria was or where the workout facility or anything around it. It was mostly just about the rooms, which is not the reason I want to live there. I want to live there what's around the rooms.
In the beginning for the tour, like we were all just kind of standing around waiting for the tour to start, so it was kind of uncomfortable and we weren't really sure when it was going to start or what was going on.
One area that I think the dorm tours can be improved is in the lighting, especially when I went into the modular. They only had 2 lamps on, and so I think it really made the rooms look dark and appear smaller than they actually were.
I kind of got confused a few times when there was the girl room connected to the boy room with the bathroom. I didn't really know, and some of the other parents were wondering if mixed genders lived in the same room, so that kind of was confusing.
The ratio of people looking at the dorms with the leader was like kind of awkward because we had so many people to one person that was leading us into each of the rooms, and so we couldn't really hear her, and it was just hard to like get to know other people that were going to possibly be Aggies in the future, so that was kind of a bad thing.
The waiting at the beginning was kind of awkward, and the tour actually left without me knowing, so I kind of had to chase them down because no one announced that it was leaving. And at the end there was a Q&A, but it wasn't very formal, and it kind of the tour just ended abruptly and everyone walked off in different directions, so I didn't feel like there was very much closure.
I would probably, the first thing I suggest the most would be to increase the size of the groups. It was too crowded when we get into the room to really get a real good visual of the size and the feel of the room. So the size needs to be cut down.
I liked the things that they went over. She talked about all the perks for living there, about how your room is going to be cleaned and how the setup was for eating. And then she talked about the fact that there's printers there, and you can, make copies anytime you want, and they try to make it really convenient. And she talked about the fact that they have tutors there on site that could help you.
One thing I noticed the Commons dorm tour compared to the competitors is that at the Commons they only sent 1 follow-up email, and at competitors like at Cambridge they actually sent me a handwritten note after I went on the tour, and at Traditions they have sent me currently 3 emails following up on my dorm tour, so that's definitely an area I could see for some improvement.
I also went to a U of H tour, and they were a lot more detailed and explained like the cafeteria and the scenery around the dorms, not just like the dorms themselves. That was where we spent the least amount of time, was inside the dorms. Everything else is about the extracurriculars around the area.
Well, I've been to the Traditions and Cambridge, and they seem to talk a lot about the competitors and like made themselves look better because they directly compared like what they offered to what dorms on campus offer, and also like the Callaway House and everything. It made them look a lot better when they talked about how they're offering things at lower prices and more amenities and stuff.
What I liked about the Cambridge tour was that they presented all the amenities and all the features they have, all the strong points they have in their residence, like the leisure room, the study rooms, etc.
Well, when I went to the Callaway House, they had me sign in when I got there, and I sat in kind of a lounge area and filled out some information for them, and then when the tour started, they called me over, and we all went together, and they made a point of pointing out everything they offered, from internet to the food and dining options, to the print room, to the game room, the swimming pool, all those different things.